something giant, metallic, and traveling at 28,000 kilometers per hour, right above your head at this very moment. It's not a plane, it's a satellite. But what if I told you these eyes in the sky that give us GPS and Netflix could be turned into the most lethal weapons humanity has ever seen? And even scarier, could one of them be intentionally dropped on an entire city? Get ready for 3 shocking truths about satellites as war weapons that will change how you see the sky. Part 1. The satellite battlefield. How satellites help in war. First, let's clear the air. Satellites are already a huge part of modern warfare, but not like laser guns in space battles, more like the brain behind the war machine. There are thousands of military satellites orbiting Earth, spying on enemies, guiding missiles, and keeping communication lines secure. Think of them as the ultimate stalkers, but government-approved. They provide real-time images, missile warnings, and yes, your GPS is basically a battlefield commander in disguise. So no, satellites aren't just helping you find the nearest pizza joint. They're also tracking potential targets. Imagine a satellite with a "this is my stalker face" filter, except it's scanning tank movements and missile launches instead of your ex's new date. Part 2. Can satellites be weapons themselves? The dark possibilities. But here's where it gets sci-fi creepy. Could satellites themselves be weapons? The answer is yes, but with a catch. There's a concept called kinetic bombardment, or as some call it, rods from God. Imagine dropping tungsten rods from space at hypersonic speeds to hit targets like a giant metal lightning bolt. No explosives, just pure mass and velocity. The problem? Controlling where they fall is about as easy as catching a bullet with chopsticks. Also, space-based lasers? They're mostly in the lab, but if operational, they could blind or fry enemy satellites or even hit Earth targets. Sounds like a Bond villain's wet dream, right? Satellites turning into deadly weapons? Great. Next thing you know, your streaming Netflix satellite decides to bomb your neighbor because they paused your show too long. Space justice. So we've seen that satellites can be sci-fi weapons, or almost. But before we dive into the idea of a satellite crashing down on your head, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the dark side of space tech, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing videos without the help of tungsten rods. Now let's get to the big question. Can a satellite really be a personalized meteor? Part 3. The hypothesis. Can a satellite be made to crash on a specific city? Now here's the question that sounds straight out of a dystopian thriller. Can a satellite be deliberately decommissioned to crash on a specific city? The short answer? No, not really. Satellites orbit at speeds of about 28,000 kilometers per hour. When they come down, they basically bounce off the atmosphere unpredictably, like a cosmic pinball. Sure, space agencies try controlled deorbits, but they aim for empty ocean spacecraft cemeteries, not your backyard BBQ. The chaos of atmospheric drag and re-entry angles means targeting a city with a crashing satellite is like trying to land a frisbee on a moving train, blindfolded. Plus, intentionally dropping a satellite on someone would be the ultimate bad neighborhood move in space politics, and probably get you grounded for life. Or worse, start World War Space. Part 4. The future of space warfare and final thought: space is the final frontier. And like any frontier, it's a wild, lawless place where the next big battle could be fought. Countries are racing to build weapons that can disable satellites or even wage war from orbit. But with great power comes great responsibility, and a lot of international treaties trying to keep space weapon-free. For now, satellites are mostly your friendly sky watchers, not space battleships. But keep an eye on the stars, because space wars might not be science fiction for much longer. If a satellite ever starts throwing shade your way, just remember, it's probably just trying to update your weather app. Space is the final frontier, and like any frontier, it's a wild, lawless place where the next big battle could be fought. For now, satellites are mostly your friendly sky watchers, not space battleships. But keep an eye on the stars, because space wars might not be science fiction for much longer. If this video made you look up with new eyes and maybe a little fear, don't forget to leave your comment below. What kind of space weapon scares you the most?